Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us for today's episode of Canal Days. As always, I'm your host Carrie, along with my co-host, founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Pelham. Our Canal Days series delves into the vast collection of historical sites throughout Massachusetts, with Robert's expertise of the local history as our personal guide. Each episode, we uncover history throughout local communities, highlighting the historic landmarks and uncovering their seminal significance. Today's episode of Canal Days will be learning about the Valley Cemetery, located in Pelham, Massachusetts. So, educate us on the history and specifics of this cemetery.
Yes, it's quite a nice cemetery. It has three different names through its history. It was at first called the North Valley Cemetery, and then the Valley Cemetery. And just this year, it changed its name in the year 2025 into the Booth Cemetery, named after a superintendent of cemeteries of Pelham. Anyways, it's located at 183 North Valley Road, east of the Buffum and Meeting House Roads intersection. Now, this cemetery is probably from 1848, but there are some older burials, and I think those came out of the Quabbin Valley. Now, and also, it's the most active cemetery in the modern age of any cemetery in Pelham by far. And so we're going to have to keep that in mind. So along the way today, we're going to talk about the Holden Tomb. We're also going to talk about the gravestone of John Brainerd and family. And then we contrast this cemetery and also compare it favorably to other cemeteries around the town.
And define the significance of the John Brainerd gravestone.
Well, if you look at it, you know it's very different because it's surrounded by masonry rocks. And these have the look of field stones cemented together. But inside of one of the faces of it, towards the west, there is an inscribed marble gravestone with three names on it: the husband, the wife, and one of their daughters. And on the bottom looks like a marble base. It says Brainerd. Now, what kind of setup is this? And the first thing I could say was that when I saw it, I said, oh, Brainerd must have been a mason by trade. And yes, a very easy search of his death records and obituary turns up, yes, he was a mason. Now, who built this, and was it built right away to surround this gravestone-looking item? And, well, maybe he did it for ahead of time, before he died, or maybe his wife had some of his friends or union members come in and do it for them, or it was done much later by someone else. But yes, of course, he's a mason, like I thought. And what it is about a 3 foot by 3 foot high structure. That's about maybe 4 feet high. And it has embedded into it both the base and the panel of the gravestone. So it's a very unique looking setup, and your eye will catch it right away. He was lived most of his life in Amherst, but this cemetery is very close to Amherst. And when he died, he had two sons, and I want to check into those, Everett and Hartwell, and see if they were Masons too, because they might have done this. Similar structures have been done in the past, but they're not very common at all.
Fascinated by local history and eager to investigate the obscure treasures off the beaten path throughout the state of Massachusetts, or maybe just seeking an unforgettable cultural activity for family and friends to enjoy, look no further than Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, founded by Robert Kumo. With over a decade of experience, Robert offers captivating tours and presentations of historic sites and landmarks throughout the state. Whether you're interested in canals, cemeteries, charming churches, or more, Robert's tours provide a unique and enriching experience for all. And that's not it. You can also schedule private tours tailored to your interests, ensuring a personalized adventure and unforgettable memories. Perfect for families or groups of all sizes, making for an exciting hands-on learning experience that brings history to life. Simply visit holyokecanaltour.org or email bobcat4214 capital B at yahoo.com to book your private tour today. But wait, there's more. Don't miss out on Robert's podcast and video series, Canal Days, where you can dive even deeper into the vital history of the Connecticut River Valley. So, getting back to our episode on New Valley Cemetery, describe the holding tomb within the cemetery.
It's one of two holding tombs within the town of Pelham. Every town had to have one to hold bodies during the very cold months when the ground was solid. And it was used about the 1920 when cremations were more common, when also they had the ability to go into the ground during the winter with certain machineries that thaw the ground. And someone looks like the other one that's in town, so they might have been built within a year or two of each other. This one here, with a wooden door, you can actually creak the door open enough, like by 2 inches, and see inside. And like almost all holding tombs that are short, this one has a downward section. So this one you can see like 4 feet deep into here. It might have had the ability to hold bodies and racks inside of here, maybe up to 10 coffins at any given time. Remember, it served all of Pelham with that other one, so they had to have enough space to hold it for 4 months before in April you start to bury all these people. And it's very typical. It's grass over the top of it, like they want to design it to fit into the environment. And otherwise, it's a nice little tomb to visit.
And detail the key differences and similarities between the Valley Cemetery and other cemeteries within Pelham.
This one has a difference in that it has a gate towards its front, where the others really didn't have gates. It probably had stairs coming up them, that we couldn't find the stairs. But those gates have, first of all, on the outside of it, 4 sides plus a top, wooden veneer. And then if you look inside them, you're able to see that it's metallic inside. So that's quite a bit of a difference. One thing that also is different is there might be a stone wall around this, but it doesn't support the soil like it does in the others of Pelham. Since Pelham is so mountainous, it needs to have a stone wall that acts like a buttress to hold the land flat. In this one, the land is not even flat because it's not as close to a very hilly section as many of the others were. Now, that's some difference. Some similarities are that it's still a beautiful environment to have cemeteries in this Pelham. And it's still going to have a lot of the names of people that lived in Pelham for a long time and grouped by families. Now, this is the most modern of all. It's oldest gravestone, or it was made in 1848, and it does have some older burials, and those probably came from the Quabbin Valley itself and were moved into this location. Right? And one more contrast, it does have a zinc obelisk inside of it. There are like 4 zinkers and cemeteries around Pelham, but this is the only one that's a zinc obelisk. So I hope you check out the cemeteries of Pelham, and this one, the Valley one, is a very interesting one too.
And thank you for tuning in to our Canal Days episode on the Valley Cemetery of Pelham, Massachusetts, and joining us on our journey through the rich history of the Connecticut River Valley. We hope you enjoyed some of the hidden and overlooked marvels and their fascinating stories that shaped our past in the state of Massachusetts. A special thanks to Robert Camus, founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, for sharing his passion and expertise with us. Remember, you can find more information about Robert's tours, book private tours, and explore the Canal Days video and podcast series at holyokecanaltour.org. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, comment, and share. We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future episodes. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to tune in to our next episode of Canal Days.